World News began its work with important and relevant news of the day. Europe's scorching summer puts unexpected strain on energy supply. The dry summer has reduced hydropower in Norway, threatened nuclear reactors in France, and crimped coal transport in Germany. And that's on top of Russian gas cuts. In a Nordic land famous for its steep fjords, where water is very nearly a way of life, Sverre Eikeland scaled down the boulders that form the walls of one of Norway's chief reservoirs, past the driftwood that protruded like something caught in the dam's teeth, and stood on dry land that should have been deeply submerged. "You see the band where the vegetation stops," said Mr. Eikeland, 43, the chief operating officer of Agder Energy, pointing at a stark, arid line 50 feet above the Skjerkavaden reservoir's surface. "That's where the water level should be." Mexico says disappearance of 43 students was a crime of the state. The authorities said for the first time that the state had been a key player in the likely massacre of students from a teachers' college in 2014. Mexico City. The disappearance of 43 Mexican students in 2014 was a crime of the state, involving every layer of government, an official inquiry reported on Thursday, in the most profound admission to date of government responsibility for one of the most notorious atrocities in Mexico's modern history. At all times the federal, state and municipal authorities had knowledge of the students' movements, a Government Truth Commission said in its preliminary findings. Their actions, omissions and participation allowed for the disappearance and execution of the students, as well as the murder of 6 other people. Factory shutdowns, showers for pigs. China's heat wave strains economy. A severe drought has dented energy supplies and disrupted access to water for hundreds of thousands. Cities order rolling blackouts. Farmers rush to save crops. Faced with China's most searing heat wave in 6 decades, factories in the country's southwest are being forced to close. A severe drought has shrunk rivers, disrupting the region's supply of water and hydropower and prompting officials to limit electricity to businesses and homes. In 2 cities, office buildings were ordered to shut off the air conditioning to spare an overextended electrical grid, while elsewhere in southern China local governments urged residents and businesses to conserve energy. The rolling blackouts and factory shutdowns, which affected Toyota and Foxconn, a supplier for Apple, point to the ways that extreme weather is adding to China's economic woes. The economy has been headed toward its slowest pace of growth in years, dragged down by the country's stringent COVID policy of lockdowns, quarantines and travel restrictions, as consumers tightened spending and factories produced less. Youth unemployment has reached a record high, while trouble in the real estate sector has set off an unusual surge of public discontent. Fast-spreading wildfires kill at least 37 people in Algeria. The government blamed extreme heat and strong winds. Heat waves in the North African nation, about 80% of which is covered by the Sahara, are expected to increase in frequency and severity. Fast-moving wildfires that tore through the northeast mountains of Algeria have killed at least 37 people and injured dozens, government officials reported on Thursday. The blazes erupted in the early hours of Wednesday, the Interior Ministry said, adding that at least 118 fires across 21 different provinces in the northeast of the country ravaged about 6,400 acres, forcing more than 300 people to flee their homes. Most of the fires were under control by Thursday, officials said, but the death toll was expected to rise as rescue efforts continued.